Hey guys, it's me, the Broke Stacker. Today we're doing our coin of the week, number 5, the South African Kruggarrand. This is, in fact, the silver Kruggarrand we're talking about, but in order to understand and get to know the silver Kruggarrand, we need to know a little bit of history of the gold Kruggarrand and where it started. Now, this guy here on the obverse, this is Mr. Paul Kruger. He's basically South Africa's George Washington. He was their very first president. He's almost like folklore. And he stood up to the British forces and basically declared war on them, told them to get the hell out. And I think he ended up escaping and taking some of his wealth with him to Switzerland. That's all rumor and myth. There's a whole lot of rich history with Mr. Paul Kruger there on the Kruggarrand. The currency of South Africa is the rand, so you got Kruger Rand, thus the Kruggarrand. He is, like I said, their George Washington folklore hero. He's sounds like a patriot of sorts, but at the same time, South Africa has their own issues. I just noticed on this one myself. This is a 2022 Kruggarrand I purchased roughly about a year ago, and I'm already showing some, I don't know if that's an old fingerprint or what, but a little bit of milk spotting. It's almost like yellowed. I don't know what's going on there. That might be a milk spot. These are notorious for milk spotting. The silver Kruggarrand came about in about, 2017 for the 50-year anniversary of the gold Kruggarrand. The gold Kruggarrand first debuted in 1967, and it was basically the granddaddy of all the modern bullion coins you see today. We have a guy on a guy on the obverse and an animal on the reverse. I mean, that doesn't sound familiar in a lot of things. I mean, you got a lot of coins that kind of do the same thing, but the more importantly thing is they decided to do more of a pure metal bullion on the silver, which is IRA accepted because it's 3/9 pure and always has been since 2017. Silver Kruggarrands haven't been around long, and the gold Kruggarrands are not IRA acceptable because the minimum acceptance, the IRS's rules depicting a IRA acceptable bullion coin, any bullion coin, has to be at least 0.995 pure gold in order to meet that criteria there. This one from Monument Metals. I think this was amongst the batch of my first purchase from Monument Metals. Get that good ping going on there. Oh man, I don't think I've ever done the Kruggarrand with the ping test. I got the Kruggarrand here for almost a year before I even got my ping tester, so that was kind of fun for me too. But yeah, you gotta do your ping test. Also, see if your magnet sticks to it. Nothing there. Let's see if that thing's real or not. Got our steel ballpoint pen there. Sticks to it. So, non-ferrous. Weighs about an ounce in my hand. I need to get a new scale here pretty soon, and that'll be another way to always test your metals. These are 3/9 pure. The silver, the gold is 91.67%. I don't have an example here to show you guys. I'm like, again, I'm the Broke Stacker. I'm not a high roller, so. But they're pretty much the same thing. Diameters can be totally different, made out of gold, but the imagery is exactly the same on the silver as the gold. And one thing to look out for in 2017 is a memorial. You'll see roughly right, let me see if I can get it focused here. Right about here, there's nothing there on this one because it's a 22, but on a 2017, you're going to see like a 50-year anniversary thing memorializing the Kruggarrand and its success. Speaking of success, this has got to be the most recognized bullion coin in the world right now. They ran 50 years like it was nothing, and it's highly successful. I mean, if you haven't seen one of these, I'd be very surprised. This is one of the most successful mint bullion coins in the world. Like maybe not the silver so much, but for sure the gold. By 1980, remember these guys started doing the gold Kruggarrands in 1967. By 1980, they dominated the world with 90% of the bullion out there was a gold Kruggarrand. So they dominated, and because of its success rate, you'll see all the envious eyes of the other governments of the world. They decided to do their own government-backed bullion programs, such as like was in 1979 was the Maple Leaf program from Canada. I think 82 the Chinese pandas came out. 86 obviously you had the American Eagle program came out. I want to say it was 86, 87 that the British Britannia came out. It's not limited to those, but it did so well. This coin started it all. It did so well that everybody else had to get their name name out there in the bullion game. Also, you might be wondering, what's this antelope-looking creature on the back? That is a springbok. It's common to the South African area, kind of like we have our American bald eagles out here. Springbok, that's kind of their more common, what they're more known for having out there in South Africa. Apparently, I've never been. Only thing I know about South Africa is the Kruggarrand. They had some apartheid was a basically racial segregation. The U.S. didn't like that so much, so to help encourage the South African government to end apartheid, racial segregation, they banned the import of the gold Kruggarrands from that started in 1985. I mean, we've all seen that movie with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, the Lethal Weapon movies. The Kruggarrand, that was the first place I saw a Kruggarrand when I was a kid. Was the trunk full of Kruggarrands dumping out of the car in the beginning of that movie. Was that Lethal Weapon 2? But yeah, they were illegal back then for the import. They weren't even supposed to be in the country back then, not getting imported anyways. And that was true at the time. But with the collapse and the falling of the Nationalist Party in South Africa in 1995 or so, that went away, and then they were allowed to be imported into the United States again. So, ta-da, we have Kruggarrands here again. Now, mind you, just key notes to take away from this. The silver one started in 2017. That one's kind of an anniversary year. That one might have a little bit of numismatic value to it, but not many. I think it's kind of like the U.S. Mint. There's unlimited mintages going on for most years. There's probably a few years in there for the gold that there were more limited mintages, especially like the first couple years. But overall, like for gold Kruggarrands out there, there's probably over 50 million of them out there. There's quite a number of gold Kruggarrands out there. The silver ones, I don't think there's been any special years other than the 2017, so look out for the 2017 on that. They are very much a stackable coin. They are a government-sanctioned coin. They don't have a dollar denomination. I don't know if anybody's noticed that yet, but they are backed by the Swede Africa, which is basically the South Africa language for South Africa, and South Africa on the coin there. They're backed by their government / bullion bank over there. This coin is redeemable with a spot value of silver at any time, depending on what their currency is available in their bank. I mean, that's what they'll probably give you. I still have my test coin out here for my what do we call this? Our test capsule. This is our test capsule. Still looking good and strong. I mean, this one's just been in the plastic flip, so I would like to get all my stuff that's just loose and flips in these capsules like this, but again, I am very leery as to throw my stuff in a capsule that may damage it. So we are 3 months into this one, still no damage, still looking good and strong, well protected. I mean, flops around a little bit, but as long as you're not banging it around. I mean, I don't know anybody that does bang their stuff around. Yeah, looking at this one right there, I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit of milk spotting going on that one too. They're notorious for it, these guys. I mean, these are only a year old, going on almost 2 years. well, about a year and a half. I got these a year and a half ago. We'll call them a year and a half old since they were minted and they're already showing signs of milk spotting. So again, these aren't so much for numismatic value, but good thing to keep in your stack. They have a little story to them, shows a little world history. Do you guys want to know more about Mr. Paul Krugger? He seems to be an interesting fellow. Good one to check out on like your history channel or whatever. Patriot. He's not an American patriot, but a patriot of his own country. So his patriotism in his own country and standing up for what was right, what he thought. I mean, this man had balls, and he's on a coin for a reason. So important political figure, historical figure. It's fair to say that he's been put on a coin for a reason. So this guy's interesting. If you want to check out some more history on him, he's on there for a reason. And all your coins out there, there's historical figures typically you're going to see on any coin. If somebody was important enough to make it on a coin, it might be worth looking into seeing who they were. I mean, Napoleon was on some coins, wasn't he? That's the Kruggarrand. Great coin to stack. Not has low premiums. They're kind of prone to milk spotting, but that's really the only negative attribute I've seen so far. Looking at the strike, a pretty strong strike. Front and back, nice and center. These are a nice quality coin to have in your stack. It's just the milk spotting. That's the only thing you really got to look out for. Low premiums, not so much numismatic value, but if you're just looking to stack some silver that isn't going to be just like a buffalo or whatever, these usually are pretty close to the price point of just a generic round buffalo. So if I had to choose between the two, a generic buffalo or a Kruggarrand, I would choose, and it was the same exact price, I would get the Kruggarrand all day long, even though they milk spot, but it's a less counterfeited item, and they are world recognized. They are extremely liquid. You can take this anywhere in the world. You can take it to China. They know exactly what it is. Anyways, guys, until next time, keep stacking, stack 'em high.